Manali Highway. It is notoriously known globally as one of the most dangerous roads in the world, and we've just been doing 30k on it, as in done 30k along it, and I can confirm it's absolutely bonkers. We've had herds of goats. There's actually a herd of goat coming down here, so you'll probably hear a load of horns. The trucks, I'm sure they just don't care which side of the road they're on. I'd say in the last 30k I've had probably 30 near head-ons from things overtaking with absolutely no concern about other cars, corners, cliff edges. Bonkers wild. I've never used this thing as many times in my life. That was really fun. We're 1 kilometre from the fuel station. We're just watching these goats come down, so let's go try and get them on camera. We are celebrating. We've made it to a petrol station. 9 kilometres to spare. But we're here, and that's what it's all about. But to be fair, we do have a couple of extra fuel litres in the Moscow panniers, so we did have a little bit of contingency. But that was closer than maybe some would like. If you're a gambler, you know, playing Russian roulette with the fuel tank, we won.
Purple thing, purple turquoise thing in my ear. That is because you get serious hearing damage on motorcycles, so I always wear custom moulded earplugs.
Route planning is going to be a really critical part of your adventure. Now I'm going to share the route that we've done, which is an 8-day route, but there's loads of options out there on the villages, the towns, the mountain passes that you want to do, so do your research before you come, but make sure when you're doing that planning you work out the fuel stops, and I would suggest having a couple of fuel stop options each day and go with a bike that has a pretty hefty fuel range. The Himalayan has a massive 17 litre fuel tank and does about 70 miles per gallon, so they're really good for covering the distance between fuel stops here. We've had to do a 30 kilometre detour on our route plan just to make sure that we have enough fuel to do the next leg today. Really plan your fuel stops. We are also carrying in the back of my Moscow panniers 2 small 2 litre extra bits of fuel that will just give us a little bit more should we come to it, the worst happen and we run out. Plan, 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 plan. And plan that your plan won't work, because that is what happens on an adventure, to have backups. Looking after the machines that you are riding is going to definitely keep you safe. The Himalayas are a very brutal, remote and aggressive terrain, and you want to make sure that your bike is going. We're about to have some snacks. I thought you'd show you what happens to packets at altitude. So very often when I buy a packet of crisps or something, I go, why do they bother putting just so much air and emptiness inside a packet? And it's because of what happens when they go to the altitude. If there was any less capacity in there, it would blow! Pow! point. Yeah. Okay, so here.
यहाँ पे मेरी बात समझ में आ रहा है हिंदी?
Mini bus?
Do you speak Hindi?
No.
No.
English.
Stay there. यहाँ रुको.
We can get through.
ना. वहाँ पे क्या बोलूँ मैं?
We have
This
to
side
try.
is danger. वो क्या बोलते हैं?
We've got to listen to the military.
What? But we can get
I've
through.
got confidence in you guys, thank you.
But we have to keep going.
You've got to listen to these guys.
But no one's moving.
Acha.
आप this side उधर ले चलो उधर.
We can get through.
Yeah, he's saying come through, I think.
Oh, to here.
इधर से.
So you want me to go high line there? I need you to definitely be sitting next to me. I think I want you on the left. You there, baby? Still not ready to catch me. Can I go to the tarmac? This is absolute mayhem. We've managed to push on probably 2 or 3k, but there's just loads of guys in trucks who, if they moved like forward a foot, which they could, then the 50, 100 motorbikes could start weaving through. It's absolutely chaos though, because it's so obvious when you look at the road that this is going to happen if like traffic management doesn't happen, but the mentality is just so me go ahead that they've just got themselves into a complete gridlock for traffic coming one way and traffic coming another way on a hairpin narrow road. It does look like they're starting to make a bit of progress here. The military have come in and joined forces and they're telling people what to do. So we just managed to squeeze through here, and the next thing is here. And I reckon I could get through, but the military guys have told me that to stop and wait here, which, okay, maybe was a little bit naughty and argued, but we stopped. I did a bit of digging in the snow, which took my breath away, but actually not too badly. So I've had the bit of the oxygen. And yeah, that's one thing worth doing here. With the altitude, you can get tins of oxygen for like £5. And it's just a really good way to help you prevent having an issue with altitude sickness, because the oxygen at some of these high points, particularly the one we're going to do in a few days' time, is 50% less than your normal oxygen that we'd be used to at home. The military guys are getting pretty close here. Fingers crossed I'm going to be moving soon. The others are still back there. They haven't made it past these trucks. But I'm going to put the phone down, see what I can do. Absolute mayhem. Now we've got bikes coming towards us and bikes.
We have made it to the other side. That was multiple hours of absolute mayhem. Words just don't do justice how ridiculous that was. But we made it through. That is going to be one of those adventures that you remember for life. 15 and a bit thousand feet Alpine Pass, 3-hour traffic jam, carnage on cliff eggs. Woo, and we made it through. And look at the views. Yeehaw! Okay, checkpoints are something you're going to get a lot of as you ride around the Himalayas and India. Now, as an English person coming here, I had to get a visa, but you're also going to have to get permits for the various areas of India and the Himalayas that you're going to ride through. It's really important that you get those. You're going to see signs like this. You've got to stop. You're going to have to get your visa out, your passport, and your permit. We got our permits done for about 1,000 rupees, and they were done within a day. Make sure you get multiple photocopies of those permits, because a lot of these checkpoints are wanting to keep that for your records. As long as you've got those 3 documents, you'll stop, hand them over, they'll write some stuff down, and you'll be on your way. To the top, 15,547 feet. Whoop, whoop. There we go. peak of the day. It's pretty windy. 16,616 feet. Yee! And you got a pile of flags. They love their flags here. When they wear out, they just put more on top. Woohoo! We made it before dark. That was a 10.5-hour day, 168 miles, 3 mountain passes, 3 hours in a traffic jam. We saw horses, donkeys, yaks, goats. The sun is going down over the back of this eco lodge that we're at, and we're all feeling pretty chilly, even with the Moscow heater jackets. I think I'd literally be dead without that jacket. So there's a little restaurant here, and they said there's warm tea and dinner, so we're heading up there. How are we doing? Warming up in our super warm coats.
It's been incredibly cold.
So good.
Does it?
Yeah, we have a hot fire, hot food, hot water.
And electricity!
Yes. We do have electricity. Oh.
And why do you need all of these things?
Because it's freezing and we're adventuring and we need to recharge cameras so that we can just keep showing you like what's going on. And we found some English people.
Hey, how you doing?
There's other nutters that come out here and do this.
There is. Is that what it is? Good morning. We made it to Tso Kar last night, and the eco lodge that we found to stay in is absolutely blissful. We've got proper beds, loads of blankets. I was so warm and toasty all night. I slept like a baby. We managed to get a bucket of hot water to have a wash, yummy dinner, and that was an incredible night's sleep. Considering we've done sort of 11 hours riding for the last 3 days, a solid night's sleep where I wasn't shivering just felt amazing. I felt like a queen. And the best thing to wake up to is that view. Hey gorgeous! Rocky Monsters is building!
But I didn't sleep all that well.
You didn't sleep well? Oh, I was so warm and cosy, why didn't you sleep well?
I was really warm and cosy once I configured all my duvets and blankets sufficiently, but I just had a really bad headache.
Oh no, how are you feeling now?
I'm feeling miserable now. I've still got a headache, but I think...
Okay, let's get the oxygen out and give you some rest. We are at pretty high altitude, we're probably out here 14,500 feet.
Yeah, I think so.
So we are at quite a decent altitude to stay long term overnight. Let's get you some oxygen and lots of water.
I think Nakeela's pretty high as well. I'll head into you later.
Altitude sickness. We're not there, but the early signs of it, when you catch them early, you can catch them. Yeah. Annika wasn't feeling good last night either. She had a really bad head, struggled breathing and stuff, so we got her lots of oxygen. Thankfully, he's feeling better this morning, but we've got to look after ourselves in the Himalayas. It's a very barren place. Barren's the right word. Rugged, aggressive, unforgiving. The worst part of the day is having to go from right now warm and cozy to putting your thermals and clothes on, because there's a few minutes where you think you're going to die from the cold. Little hobbit down there. Yeah. Alex's goggles have some vents in the top, and it wasn't ideal in the snow and rain, so we're just sealing them up with a 3M medical plaster in case we hit more rain. Hopefully we won't, or snow, but we want to be prepared. They love their stickers out here. We have another sticker window, so I'm armed with a sticker. We're going in. I was officially here. There's lots of different options for motorcycles. Now, obviously, there is a massive heritage, feel-good, lovely, bubbly, historic thing about having a Royal Enfield. There are different ranges of Royal Enfields. You've got the older ones. The Bullet was sort of the original bike that people were doing the Himalayas on. And then the heritage of the Himalayan came out when Royal Enfield realised that people were taking a Bullet and modifying it to be more suitable for the mountains. And then we went, well, why don't we just make a bike that's made for the mountains, which is exactly what we're on here. Super reliable, solid, robust, literally made for the Himalayas. But we're at 5,000 metre altitude right now. Sorry, I got a bit excited talking too fast. I've got to remember to keep oxygen going. There are different ranges of bikes that you can get in quality and ages, and when you're going up onto these mountain passes to 16, 17, 18,000 feet, they are really dangerous, unforgiving places to be. And we have unfortunately come across quite a few people that have had breakdowns on some of the older bikes that are getting towards the less reliable end of their lives. And I will constantly think about one of the guys we particularly saw. There was absolutely nothing we could do to help him, and we ended up just having to leave him, but he was pushing down off the mountain. There were lots of other trucks around, so I'm sure he got some help, but it's a very cold, bleak place to be, and I really would encourage you to make sure you get a rental that's going to really minimise that risk. So we've got a really cool example of a roadside fix here. This bike, so it's a slightly older Royal Enfield, the swing arm nut failed through the bolt yesterday, and the guys, heroes, have managed to do a roadside fix and managed to kind of nurse it 170 kilometres to where we're staying now. So there's a ratchet strap on here holding the swing arm in and tight, utilising the frame. And then this side is even more impressive. You have a stone that they've wedged in to replace the nut, and then use ratchet straps to then hold that stone in. So the wheel is wobbly, but at least the wheel is in place. Make sure you're carrying spares, make sure you're doing your daily maintenance, and really consider what bike you're going to trust going out in there. And sometimes a little bit saving on the money, you're playing with your life. So worth thinking about it. Go on, leg. We are up.
I don't have anyone on Cardo.
Mine's not on. Yeah. Engaging Cardo intercom. Okay, we just heard an update from Dan, the other UK guys that stayed at the same homestay. Dan wasn't feeling good today of altitude sickness, so he popped into the local medical place to have an oxygen check, and he was like really low on oxygen, so he's had 2 hours on oxygen. And so we're just coming in to check Annika and Alex because neither of them have been feeling great overnight, and hopefully we can get an update on their oxygen and give them a test.
Are you coming from Manali?
That's good. Really low, but I'm actually feeling fine.
This is water, drinking water.
Yeah. 88.
Wow.
It is good.
Cool. Oh, show it.
Oh, I missed it.
Rocky Monster's up. I was at 88, so I'm doing okay. Fingers crossed. Dun, 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 dun. Cool, so what are we at? 78, well done. Getting it up. 79, 80. Deep diaphragmatic breaths. We're all doing good. Yeah, yeah. Altitude.
Right?
Got to 90, well done. So a altitude thing to think about is your oxygen level is really important. You're meant to sit around 80 oxygen particles per something, whatever the little finger thing tells you. We've just popped into the local chemist and the lovely team here are just checking our oxygen levels because catching it early and having oxygen can prevent you then getting really ill. Dan, one of the English guys here, was in this morning and he had 2 hours on oxygen because he dropped to about half of the level he should have been at. So he's caught it early, which is good. But recommendation, if you spot a chemist and you're not feeling great, it's worth just popping in, getting the little sensor on your finger and checking what your oxygen's at. And it's amazing what some really deep diaphragmatic breaths can do. So diaphragm is below your lungs and that's the muscles that helps you really expand your chest. Think about the yoga, big in and out, and you can get that blood, not oxygen, you can get that oxygen levels up pretty quick.
As well as I said.
Breathe through your nose when you sleep.